Hey guys, this is the Prince of Macedon, and I'm doing a commentary video for Empire Total War multiplayer. This is a Poland-Lithuania versus Britain battle. I'm in command of the Polish-Lithuanian army, and my opponent is K-Lobie-92 in command of the British army. What you're seeing right now are my opponent's 12-pounder howitzers being routed from the battlefield. What happened was he left his artillery unsupported in the very back of his army, so I took 2 regiment of horses, and I charged into them, but I lost basically all my horses in that attack. At least all the horses that I launched. And that was this 2 regiment of horses. Alright, so there's a big infantry fight going on right now. But more importantly, there's a huge cavalry fight going on on my left wing here. And this was my winged hussars and regiment of horses versus his general's bodyguard and his regiment of horses. And you can see my sweet looking samurai here. These are actually the winged hussars. They got those big wings on them. And I had every bit of confidence that my cavalry could destroy his. Like, he had a few better upgrades than me, but he was outnumbered, plus I had my hussars, so I wasn't too worried about the cavalry fight. But you can see his cavalry starting to rout. And so that fight's gonna go my way. And there they go. Now I'm going to take my cavalry and bring it to the forest here, and I'm going to emerge behind his infantry. Over here, I launched my spare unit of regiment of horses that just destroyed his artillery, and I launched it into the rears of his line infantry on his left flank, and I routed them. So that freed up my infantry to move forward here. Here's my line infantry. It's going to be kind of hard deciphering which troops are which because we're both wearing red coats. But if you look closely, I have red pants and these red stockings here, so that might clarify some of it for you. Okay, I've got my, my infantry, they consist of light infantry and line infantry. I put stakes in front of my light infantry, just to ward off a cavalry assault. But, I guess I wasn't going to need it. Anyways, I took my huge cavalry force that won in the fight on my left wing, and I charged into his right flank as well. So here I just wiped out his left and right flanks. And I'm going to pull my cavalry back out of there. They are completely exhausted. The reason I did that was because he started redirecting his line infantry to fire at my horses. And I didn't want to lose them in one big clump like that. Alright, so here is the big infantry fight. What are these? These are just British line infantry. One-on-one, they're superior to my line infantry, but I'm not fighting him one-on-one. I'm using my numbers now to gang up on him. And the reason I have better numbers now is because I was using my cavalry to launch harassment attacks on his infantry. And in most of the cases where I launched my cavalry, I actually routed his infantry. So now I have a infantry superiority for the most part in terms of numbers. Alright, so here's my cavalry. I'm going to put them back in the forest here. You can see they're already exhausted, and they're exhausted from the big cavalry fights beginning. So I have to be very careful with them. Because when they're exhausted, they want to rout a lot easier than they would if they were fresh. This is my regiment of horses. I want to zoom in on my hussars though. Because this is like the Polish-Lithuanian specialty here, these guys. Like, nobody else has these troops here. Not the one with wings, anyways. So, that's that. Here's the big infantry fight. My opponent left these guys here as a reserve unit to ward off my cavalry. And now they're going to face my cavalry. So I'm going to leave my cavalry in the forest for now. Here I launched a melee assault with my cavalry and my line infantry. But that attack failed. My British opponents had better morale and defense. So you gotta be careful when you launch melee assaults on them. Alright, so my opponent's line infantry, they started to come back from routing. So they formed up on my flanks here. And now they're gonna pour their guns into my flank here. I'm gonna run away from there. And I'm gonna reform here. I'm using my regiment of horses to charge into his line infantry here. And those guys were not ready for it, so they have broken. So as you can see, there's a time and a place for everything. Like if you charge at the proper time, you can rout his infantry or whatever. But just launching them mindlessly into the enemy, it means your guys can die. But sometimes it'll work. Anyways, here I launched my cavalry assault into his line infantry here. I thought my numbers would be able to break his line infantry, but this is one of those times where it was bad to launch a cavalry assault. His guys are fresh, mine were not fresh, so this is going to favor his line infantry big time. And I'm going to charge it from the other side with another unit of regiment of horses, but there were only like 5 dudes in that unit, I believe. But the good thing is I'm keeping these guys out of the fight, but at the same time I'm throwing away my cavalry advantage. So I'm going to launch another melee assault here, and this is with my line infantry. Here I have a 3-to-1 infantry advantage here in this fight. So I'm going to pour on the pressure here with my line infantry, and that's going to rout his line infantry. And once again, I have the red pants, and that'll distinguish my guys from his. And they're gone. I'm going to take those victorious troops there, and I'm going to reinforce my cavalry wing here. Now, while that's going on, let me show you what's going on over here on the other side of the battlefield. I'm shooting it out with his infantry here, and his guys are losing this fight. I have a 3-to-2 advantage here. And here I rushed in my spare line infantry into the fight with my cavalry here against his line infantry. But this is incredible. His line infantry here, they're going to hold out against all these dudes here. And we're going to watch this fight up close. And you can see I have no more hussars. They have all routed. And my regiment of horses are routing too. It's incredible how his line infantry held out. So now I have this one line infantry unit over here, and one depleted unit of General's Bodyguard going at it. And his guys are still winning. But luckily, I've been victorious everywhere else in the battlefield. So I can take these dudes over here, and I'm just going to transfer them to this shovel spot right here. And I believe this is the last unit of line infantry that I'm going to throw into this melee fight. As for the rest of my troops, I'm just going to sit out on the sidelines, and I'm just going to watch what happens. Actually, they're not going to watch. They're actually going to shoot into this big melee fight, because they've had enough of this British line infantry kicking the crap out of my dudes here. So they're going to sit out of this fight and just shoot them, even my own troops. But it'll be worth it. Oh, wait a minute. These guys are also going to go into the fight too. I believe it's the last 3 units that I have, or the last 4 units that I have. Sorry, the last 3 units that I have. I'm just going to sit back and just shoot into my own troops, and his troops too. Because as Longshanks said in Braveheart, when he was going to shoot his own men with his archers, he said yes, but we're going to hit his troops as well. So I'm going to pull a bit of Longshanks in this battle against the British. We're going to watch this fight up close. And you can see my guys in the background, they are starting to smoke these troops here. And once again, he has the white pants, I have the red pants. So they shop at other stores for their pants, obviously. As for their coats, they all shop at the store of Redcoats. Redcoats Anonymous. Alright, so we won this fight finally, and that was very bloody. But that one last unit of line infantry held out for the longest time. So that was a victory for me. I killed 1,079 of his guys, and I lost 930 of my men. And KLOB92 killed 852 of my men, and he lost 1,134 of his men. Good game to KLOB92.